Bem-vindos mais uma vez a Londres com Anthony Jacquin. E vamos bater um papo agora sobre regulamentação da hipnose, mas depois da vinheta. Hi again, I keep on complimenting you. Yes.
Thank you.
I want to know your opinion about something more political, just like Neville.
Yeah.
That's about regulation on hypnosis.
Okay.
In Brazil, there's a huge debate whether hypnotism should be under law or should be specific just for doctors, just for dentists, only for magicians and things. And the UK has an act on hypnotism.
Sure.
And I'd like to know your opinion about regulation on hypnosis. People that want hypnotism to be just something only for doctors or something like that. And what's your opinion about the UK Act on hypnotism and stage hypnotism?
Fair amount to say about this. First of all, I think it's a double-edged sword to say that. Either way, you're going to get cut. British Medical Association, the American Medical Association, the Australian Medical Association, perhaps the Brazilian Medical Association, accept that hypnosis is a thing. In the UK, it's qualified as a complementary medicine. That's slightly different to alternative medicine. So alternative medicine is reflexology, energy medicine, aura medicine. Complementary medicine is something they accept could be a tool in the box of accepted medicine. So there's that. That's some status. There is no law in the UK about being a hypnotherapist. You can do a one-day course. You call yourself a hypnotherapist.
Even in Brazil?
Yeah, anyone can call themselves a hypnotherapist. I guess if it went to court in some way, they'd want to see that you'd kind of trained, but there's no regulation. There is the Hypnotism Act from 1952, it was updated in the 90s. This principally was directed at stage hypnotism, and it was created almost in a panic. I actually know kind of where this came from and who was involved, but it was almost created in a panic, a fear, that the public could get stuck in hypnotism. So the Hypnotism Act suggests that if you are going to do a show in the UK involving hypnotism to which the public are admitted, then you should apply to the local council to get a license. And if you apply to the local council, most of the time they're like, I don't know, and they have to go and search and find out what it's all about, but they give you a license. Now in that act, they define hypnotism in section 6 as sleep, a trance-like state, or any effort to raise suggestibility levels. And personally, we can question any of those things. That would take a little bit longer. But if you're going to do a show, sell tickets, have the public admitted, apply for a license. This area of London we're in now will not issue a license for hypnotism at all. They just have a policy, okay, this particular borough. Now, do I think there should be some regulations with regard to performance? Yes, but the truth is hypnosis itself is no more dangerous than any other kind of performance. It doesn't suddenly bring danger. So if we have public liability insurance, if we have, manage our stage, how high are the lights, how far back are we from the stage, do they have their eyes open, then I don't think we need additional regulation any more than a juggler or someone who juggles, someone who stand-up comedy, someone who juggles, whatever. It's not dangerous in itself. So I don't think we need extra regulation. Do I think there should perhaps be some regulation for people calling themselves therapists? Well, I think it should fall under the same banner as being a counsellor or being a general psychotherapist. Now, where we're at in the UK, it's exactly the same as Brazil, in that you've got one, the British Medical Association have a unit that talks about hypnosis, and their constant drive is to ring-fence this so that only doctors and dentists and psychiatrists can do it. They essentially call all other hypnotherapists cowboys. That means, you know, you shouldn't be doing it. It's like the builder who's not qualified to fix your roof. I don't like that. I believe I have the right to use words in a certain order with a certain attitude. If my intention is to help you, I don't think someone should tell me what I can say and cannot say. So on one hand, I simply do not want to see more regulation, because if there's more regulation, the chances are that they will stop people like me being a hypnotherapist. However, should there be some guidelines? Yes. The guidelines would prevent a lot of misguided therapy. The guidelines would reduce the amount of regressive memory recovery that, again, we know we can do, but it's generally regarded in the world of psychiatrists as bad therapy, even though 70% of psychiatrists still do memory recovery. So do I think some guidelines would help? Yes, I do. But personally, I believe this is a gift, you know, and it's made of words and the imagination. I don't want too much regulation. The upside of regulation, if they could do it sensibly, would be that doctors would be able to refer to hypnotherapists in the same way they currently refer to counsellors or to cognitive behavioural therapists. I would love us to have the same standing. That's why it's a double-edged sword. I'm personally an advocate for kind of freedom in that regard, rather than the overuse of state-based regulation. But if we, again, I equally want this to be taken more seriously by the medical community. For that to happen, we need good science, we need research, we need peer-reviewed studies appearing in quality clinical journals. And that is happening. But in terms of my personal application, you know, I will never stop using words in a certain order with a certain attitude. If you force me not to call it hypnosis, then I won't call it hypnosis.
You change your name.
I'll just call it words. But one more thing, let me give you this quote. And this is something for anyone doing hypnotherapy to consider. This quote comes from a guy called Martin Orr, who was a hypnosis researcher in 1959. And it was quoted by Professor Irving Kirsch at the conference I ran in 2011. And it's to give you something to think about. You should not be treating anything with hypnosis that you are not qualified to treat without hypnosis. What am I qualified to treat? I don't think I need a qualification to try to help someone reduce their anxiety. I don't think I need a special qualification to try to help someone increase their confidence. Do I need a special qualification to help someone who has bipolar? Do I need a special qualification to help someone who has, you know, some organic brain disorder? Yes, I probably do, because there are implications with that, even if I think I can help them.
Like schizophrenia.
Like schizophrenia. You know, do I think I can help them? Do I think they can change habits? Do I think they can reduce anxiety? Do I think I can help them in the world? I do. But there are aspects of that I don't have the knowledge. I'm not qualified to know about. So, as practitioners, we need to recognise that there are so many things we can help with. There are certain things which perhaps you do need to go to university for 7 years and become a doctor and study. And then you're qualified. Then you could use hypnosis to deal with those things too. There has to be a line somewhere. And it's a blurred line. But that quote kind of helps me decide which side of that line I'm on. And occasionally, sure, I meet someone and I think, I can help you, but I'm not qualified. But the vast majority of people we're going to see want to change habits, want to get rid of fears and anxieties, want to achieve states of mind and body where they can go ahead and achieve their goals. That is an almost limitless number of clients. Far too often, and understand, I train people in hypnotherapy and I train them quick. Far too often people leave courses thinking, the worst I can do is do nothing. And there are some situations where the worst you can do is actually slightly worse than that. So it doesn't mean that suddenly you're a psychiatrist who can treat every single disorder. But there is so much good work we can do. So do I think it should be more regulated? It's a double-edged sword.
And something that we need to say, just to finish, is that it doesn't, without regulation, it doesn't mean that people that are doing hypnosis are out of law. Because people are responding for their acts.
Yes.
Under law anyway. There are penalties. For example, if someone gets injured or something inside the clinic, the office, I am responding to that.
Indeed. We may not like the law always. The law's the law. We have to operate within the law. And coming back to the Hypnotism Act, there has not, this is 1952, there hasn't been a single successful prosecution under that act. When I showed that act to my lawyer, he's 40 years as a lawyer, he described it as the worst piece of legislation he's ever seen. He could drive a bus through this act. But the guidelines in the act, they kind of enshrine common sense. So follow the guidelines, and we can continue to do good work and still operate within them.
Thank you. And se lembra, Anthony Jacquin está indo para o Brasil. Não sabemos se poderemos repetir isso. Oportunidade única. Inscreva-se, esse novo lote já está terminando. Faça já a sua inscrição. Lembrando que inscrição só vale depois que paga. E nos vemos no curso. Gostou do vídeo? Clique em gostei, inscreva-se no canal, compartilha com seus amigos. Até a próxima.